Any reward that is worth having only comes to the industrious. The success which is made in any walk of life is measured almost exactly by the amount of hard work that is put into it. We encourage you not just to work hard, but smart as you walk towards the future you desire. Arm yourself with a plan, be determined in its execution, and believe in its success. Don't be daunted by the doubters. That includes yourself. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Our plan today is to show you what government has in place to support industry, merge heart and coding for a more skilled cadre of young people, and give mothers and babies a healthy start. Stay with us.
We will overcome the threat.
The public health team began to develop protocols that would help to delay the entry of the virus into the country, contain its spread, and slow the transmission among the population.
We will be implementing an unprecedented $25 billion fiscal stimulus.
We remain committed to making this a decade of growth for Jamaica.
The 2020 Year in Review, January 4 to 26, 2021, Mondays to Fridays inside Jamaica Magazine. That's the 2020 Year in Review, building forward together.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, January 20. Jamaica is set to receive its first shipment of COVID-19 vaccines on April 21. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton gave the update on the COVID-19 vaccines Global Access COVAX facility during Tuesday's sitting of Parliament. Dr. Tufton says 5% of the population, or 292,399 persons, will be inoculated in April. Other doses will arrive on July 21 and December 21, at which time 16% of the population will be vaccinated. The vaccines will be administered in 2 doses and will be given 2 weeks apart.
The ministry has already commenced its preparation activities for the introduction of the COVID-19 vaccines in Jamaica and for the timely and smooth implementation of vaccines once they become available. The ministry is taking all necessary steps to ensure that safe and effective vaccines are deployed through the continued monitoring of developments related to COVID-19 vaccines.
Minister Tufton says vaccination sites are planned for health centers, with hospitals being set up for frontline staff. They include Bustamante Hospital for Children, Cornwall Regional Hospital, Spanish Town Hospital, Mandeville Regional Hospital, National Chest Hospital, and St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital. The health minister also tabled the cabinet-approved vaccine deployment and vaccination interim implementation plan. He says $3 billion will be used to execute the first phase of the plan. The funds will be used to purchase vaccines, provide for the supply chain, cold storage and transportation, as well as to hire, equip and train staff and sensitize the population. Meanwhile, the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SARA, has begun offering free COVID-19 testing from its mobile unit across communities in the region. SARA encompasses the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Thomas and St. Catherine. The health authorities will be providing the free COVID-19 testing between January 20 and 31, beginning at 10 a.m. Testing started on Wednesday at Shenton in St. Catherine and Stony Hill in St. Andrew. Testing is slated for Thursday in the Washington Gardens, Doheny Park area of St. Andrew and will roll on to Seaforth in St. Thomas on Friday. On Saturday, the mobile unit will be at the Spanish Town Examination Depot in St. Catherine and Paul Bogle Square in St. Thomas. By Sunday, residents in and around Portmore may access free testing services at Ascot High School. The bus will roll into Cromarty and Crescent in Spanish Town on January 30 and Portmore Pines and Silverstone on January 31. Government will be spending $3.5 billion less in the 2020-2021 fiscal year as it makes further provisions to manage the COVID-19 pandemic that's affecting lives and the economy. The figure was tabled in the third supplementary estimates by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark in Parliament on Tuesday. The overall budget now stands at $850.3 billion, which represents $52 billion for capital expenses and $798.3 billion for recurrent. The Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC, is expected to review the third supplementary estimates on Thursday, after which it will be debated in Parliament next week. Minister Clark says decisions have been taken to defer payments under the capital budget over to the next financial year, as well as channeling unused funds from ministries to support the government's COVID-19 response.
That available space has either been redirected to other MDAs to meet critical areas of operations, for example in the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Police Department, or has been cut from the budget.
In light of budgetary cuts in some areas, increases were made to critical areas to advance support in technology, health, national security, and economic recovery.
The government remains committed to implementing the required adjustments over the next 3 years to ensure that Jamaica gets back on track to achieving its legislative fiscal targets.
The St. James Municipal Corporation has earmarked $7 million to commence cleanup and restorative work in communities across the parish. These communities were severely impacted by heavy rains that lashed the parish earlier this month. Deputy Superintendent of Roads and Works, Saad Campbell, told the recent monthly corporation meeting that the Finance Committee had approved the funding. Work had started to clear critical drains and debris deposits in the worst affected communities. The rainfall resulted in flooding in several communities and caused severe damage to several roadways in Wilshire, Granville, Leith to Long Hill, Kingsgate, and Belmont. Meanwhile, approximately $91.6 million will be spent in the coming months to repair the damage done to parochial roads and infrastructure as a result of the heavy rains. The Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change is inviting public comments and recommendations on the beach access and management policy for Jamaica. Virtual town hall meetings are planned for January 26 and February 2.
We want to hear you, your thoughts and your ideas as we work together to finalize and implement this beach access and management policy that will benefit all Jamaicans for generations to come.
Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. was speaking at a recent virtual media sensitization session on the policy. The policy, which is now in the draft stage of development, seeks to increase access to the wet sand or gravel area of the beach, as well as improve the standards of the public beaches.
We aim to achieve these goals by strengthening the institutional arrangements for the development and maintenance of our beaches, providing increased access for beachgoers to the foreshore and the beach, and providing and maintaining bathing beaches with excellent amenities which take into account environmental concerns.
Persons wishing to participate in the consultations may send written suggestions to policycomments@megjc.gov.jm. To view the policy document, visit muRec.gov.jm. And finally, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information says all teachers will be paid by Friday, January 22. The advisory comes as salaries for most teachers were not deposited due to a server error. The ministry says the service provider had a significant challenge in processing the payroll for January 2021. While the ministry apologized for the delay, it says it is working with the service provider to have the error resolved. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
If I can't tell them you off, make sure you gon' get them done. That is how we are go trace them, identify them, tag it and trace it. Prevent disease from spreading, your health is worth defending. Tag it and trace it. You never think fi hide, tag them with pride. Put the code even out of style. Tag it and trace it. Tag it and trace it.
A message from the Agricultural Competitiveness Program of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries.
In government, there is one ministry managing the value chain between industries and the processed raw material and manufactured goods to the investors that keep them viable and vibrant, and those in the business of successfully commercializing their outputs. The ministry team was diligent and hardworking in 2020. In a word, they were industrious. Up next, the year in review for industry, investment, and commerce.
2020 was a year filled with highs and lows. There was a shift in the way in which we did business as online became the new norm. But even while navigating a global pandemic, the country remained open for business. Here's our 2020 year in review.
If we are to achieve a larger slice of the pie, we need to position our country as a formidable contender.
A new risk management standard, ISO 31000-2019, was launched to manage hazards in public sector organizations.
The launch of this standard today is in keeping with our national policy to achieve a stable macroeconomic environment and to reduce risk and uncertainty in decision-making by economic actors.
The National Certification Body of Jamaica, NCBJ, also unveiled its newest certification product, the ISO 22000-2018 Food Safety Management System. The Company's Office of Jamaica, COJ, attained its ISO 9001-2015 certification, demonstrating commitment to quality service. And the trade sale of goods during period of Declaration of Disaster Area Order 2020 became effective on March 31.
Charging exorbitant prices because of fear is not the right thing to do.
The Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, began its journey in 2020 towards achieving ISO 9001-2015 certification.
ISO certification now would see to us having a quality management system that helps us to satisfy our clients and ensure that what we are doing is globally accepted.
The CLA also commenced consultations with stakeholders to finalize a policy for a cultivator's transitional special permit. The special permit will help small farmers or subsistence farmers who find it challenging to enter the cannabis industry at the license stage.
We want to give you this permit for you to cultivate your cannabis where you are with some basic, amendments to what you have. And for 2 years, whatever you sell in our industry, because you're selling it back to us in our closed loop system, for the 2 years, we want you to use that time to develop your facility to the standard that is needed at the licensing regime. So after the 2 years, you can apply for a license.
Protocols were also established to facilitate the import and export of cannabis by licensees. 44 pounds of ganja from farmers in a compound were sold under the ministry's Alternative Development Project, which helps traditional cannabis farmers transition into the regulated environment.
We've now developed some guidelines for Alternative Development Program, and what we'll be doing in 2020 is looking for more community groups of traditional growers, Rastafarian or not, that we will engage and provide the technical support for them to transition into the medicinal marijuana industry.
The Jamaica Single Window for Trade portal was piloted in March and saw increased traffic as the COVID-19 pandemic started impacting businesses.
This is a perfect opportunity to allow for persons to be able to access the service of government without the physical interaction.
Between June and October, over 8,000 permits were approved on the portal. Meanwhile, JAMPRO launched the first phase of a national business portal to allow for multiple business to government transactions in one online location. The Jamaica Customs Agency introduced a track and trace service to facilitate transparency for traders and their representatives in handling customs declarations. The Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, launched Things Jamaican e-commerce under the theme Buy Jamaica, Click Jamaica. With more than 2,000 products offered on the website, consumers were able to shop for items online. The ministry later partnered with the JBDC to develop a national craft policy to streamline that industry. Additionally, the National Investment Policy Green Paper and the National 5-Year Manufacturing Growth Strategy were tabled in the House of Representatives.
The two documents seek to provide the framework for creating the enabling business environment necessary to attract local and foreign direct investments and to grow Jamaica's manufacturing industry.
Through a memorandum of understanding signed between the Exim Bank and JAMPRO, the Export Club was birthed under the Export Max 3 program. The partnership allowed companies under the program to benefit from a special line of credit.
For the MSMEs, I think it's critical to ensure that they understand that they can be a part of an export program. They can earn in the global market space if they do it right, if they organize themselves right and be prepared to work and do what is required in that market.
The Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, launched the Boosting Innovation, Growth and Entrepreneurship Ecosystems Biggie program. This innovation grant fund gives medium-sized enterprise owners access to grants of up to $14 million to assist with their businesses. To top off the year, Jamaica became the first country in the English-speaking Caribbean to establish a full regulatory body for radiation protection and safety, the Hazardous Substance Regulatory Authority, HSRA. Despite all odds, Jamaican companies managed to penetrate regional markets, trading for the first time within a number of Caribbean countries, including Dominica and the Cayman Islands.
Growth and expansion, Mr. Speaker, constitute the new normal for this sector going forward.
2020 witnessed the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce continuing the work to ensure Jamaican businesses can build forward together.
We're in a digital age, and in this time, access to technology and devices is no longer a luxury, but a necessity.
More Wi-Fi connectivity, community access points, and broadband connectivity for select hospitals. All these achievements and more by the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology will be on replay. Join us on Thursday, January 21, as we look back at the Ministry's 2020 Year in Review.
As you look forward to the Technology Year in Review tomorrow, today we plug into an exciting new development for Jamaica's industrious young people. They are writing the code for a successful future, and government is giving them the tools to see it take shape.
Last year, the software development market was valued at $487 billion. It is anticipated that it will grow to over $507 billion for 2021. The largest exporters of software remains India, China, Eastern Europe, and you can see here, Northern and Central Africa and Europe remain the largest importers for software developers, but the demand far outweighs the supply. Jamaica is uniquely positioned to take advantage of this growing need.
We connect and we innovate. And now they will know the new us. In this ever-changing, fast-paced, technology-driven world, we are ready to soar. The Amber Heart Academy will ignite the passion and creativity of our youth. And with technology as the driver of change, will seal Jamaica's fate as a global leader in innovation.
This initiative will see the training of young Jamaicans as software developers to create cutting-edge technologies that will be a benefit not only to their future, but a benefit to the nation as well, which is a joint effort of the Amber Group, the Heart NSTA Trust, the Hope Program, and the Art of Living Foundation. We mobilized the Heart recruitment process island-wide, and the response was overwhelming. This demonstrated to us from the very onset that this program was indeed a step in the right direction for youth as well as for our country. We first conducted psychometric tests to determine suitability for the program, and then the shortlisted candidates were interviewed, after which a final selection was made. The aim of the Amber Heart Academy is to train thousands of young people over the next few years at satellite locations across the island. This initial phase is a pilot project where we have engaged 100 participants in 2 cohorts of 50. These participants will be engaged in an intensive and immersive 6-month training program taught by a team of highly qualified master coders from the Amber Group, after which they will undergo a 6-month internship program. This hands-on internship program will see them co-developing software programs alongside senior developers. At the end of the program, all successful graduates will be NCTVET certified and guaranteed jobs through the Amber Group. The first cohort of students have already settled in and begun their 1-year residential training program. Why residential? because we want them to gain superior coding skills through an immersive learning environment, whilst also equipping them with the soft skills to change their outlook and mindset. In addition, this modality would enable us to keep the students safe during the pandemic and lead them to a successful career in the shortest space of time. The Stony Hill campus of the Hart NSTA Trust was a natural fit to provide a beautiful learning environment, adequate residential facilities, as well as fostering mutual bonding and support.
It also includes self-development through the Art of Living program, which is renowned globally and even undertaken by universities such as Harvard, Stanford, MIT, as well as locally by the students at the University of West Indies. With this approach, our vision is to see 20,000 Jamaicans engaged as developers within the next 5 years.
This initiative will provide a whole new world of opportunities for those participants and for the country. This new generation of coders would have left the program having gained not only technical skills, but the soft skills such as stress management, problem solving, and creativity, and an innovative mindset to transform the world and position Jamaica as the next technological hub of the region. With this partnership, a digitally transformed Jamaica won't just be a vision, it will be a reality, one code at a time.
I'm really honored to be a part of this program, to make my mark, not only in society, but regionally.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
Parenthood, or the promise of it, is an exciting time for expecting mothers and fathers, but it is not without its worries. But Jamaica is advancing maternal and child health care to allay at least one of those worries.
Pregnancy and childbirth are essential to the existence and sustainability of any society. This period of great expectation is also a time of anxiety for pregnant women and their families due to the risk of maternal and infant mortality. Hence, the importance of countries having strong public health systems and responses to protect and always preserve life. The Jamaican government has been working to ensure resources are in place so mothers and their babies can realize the best health outcomes. To support that mandate, high dependency units (HDUs) are being established in a number of hospitals across the island. A high dependency unit is a facility that provides specific levels of care to mothers and babies who need more attention than patients on the general ward, but not as much as those that need intensive care. It's an environment that supports post-operative care and close observation. Just recently, the Ministry of Health and Wellness completed construction on 4 such high-dependency units. They have been established at the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, Victoria Jubilee Hospital, Spanish Town Hospital, and the Bustamante Hospital for Children. Another is being installed at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. These HDUs represent a major component of the program for the reduction of maternal and child mortality, PROMAC. This is being implemented by the Ministry of Health and Wellness and funded by the European Union under a €22 million Jamaica-EU agreement.
It strengthens our capacity to respond in a way that builds on the achievements that we have had and secures and reinforces the resilience that we should be seeking as we face or confront the public health challenges in our population. And the European Union's commitment, as demonstrated through this PROMAC program, is another example of that partnership and the building or expansion of the capacity of our public health infrastructure.
The high dependency units come outfitted with state-of-the-art equipment and are manned by skilled professionals. Their presence reassures expectant women that they will have the best outcome, especially those who face a higher risk of something going wrong during the pregnancy.
Persons have so far been trained in neonatology, maternal fetal medicine and emergency obstetrics, and in critical care.
Government's goal for interventions like this is to reduce Jamaica's maternal mortality ratio down from 89 per 100,000 live births to 27.5 per 100,000 live births by the year 2030. This is in keeping with the internationally agreed Sustainable Development Goals. The country's infant mortality rate is 16.6 per 100,000 live births as at 2018.
We expect that thousands, if not hundreds and thousands of Jamaicans, mother and child, will benefit from these facilities in the years to come. And it will certainly support the expertise of those who will use the equipment.
The PROMAC agreement was signed by the EU and Government of Jamaica in 2013. Its outputs also include procurement of 6 ambulances, training of medical personnel to improve clinical knowledge, and capacity building for civil society to support public education among women of childbearing ages to improve their health-seeking behaviors. The 7-year-old PROMAC initiative will come to an end in November 2020.
Recover with integrity. Recover with integrity. We should all work together. One aim, one vision. In the fight against corruption, there is no division. United with the Integrity Commission. Let's stand up and make a healthy decision that we will not turn a blind eye. We will not cheat secret lives. We will not accept no bribes. We will not push values aside.
A message from the Integrity Commission.
It's time to close the curtains on today's show. We unveil a new program tomorrow, though, so you'll want to return then. It's happening same time as today, right here on this station. If you can't get enough, all we do is awaiting you on the JIS YouTube channel and website. Visit us there and on all the social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. On behalf of the entire production team, thanks for your company. Be good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.